How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. As you know, Gary Gensler and the SEC rug pulled this earlier tonight. I want to do a video talking about his final warning. And the reason for that is because I have a couple important things to show you. And I thought I had a good title and good thumbnail earlier, and I wasn't able to use that. So I want to go through his final warning, talk about what's happening in the market right now, something that you should know about Bitcoin. Also, now Bitcoin Archive is calling for Elon Musk to give some of the information and to give some information on the back end of Twitter and tell us if the SEC is lying to our face right now. This is going to get so juicy. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on that bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. While you're down there, there's a link to Margex where you can trade cryptocurrency, and you can do it within like a couple minutes of signing up. So definitely check out that link underneath the video. There's also a link down there to HGAaccess where you can get information from crypto influencers. We get reached out to all the time from dozens of people every single day, dozens of projects. We have a lot of information. So check out those links underneath the video in case you want to get ahead of the rest of the market for the next bull run. Now, there are going to be so many memes, so many memes about the SEC for, I don't know, the foreseeable future. I still am under the impression that they will approve the ETFs tomorrow. I think that this really was like some intern that just posted it earlier, scheduled it wrong, or wrote it the day before, or something like that. They said that they didn't say it was a hack. They said that the Twitter account was compromised, and now they're being looked into by government entities. So this is kind of funny. After the SEC said, careful what you read on the internet, the best source of information about the SEC is the SEC. This has gotten 1 million views in the last hour because everyone's reposting it after there's some false flag about the Bitcoin ETF back in October. So they were a little bit snarky here. So, we can be a little bit sarcastic back, or vice versa, Gary Gensler, though, coming in clutch. He saved us from Kraken, but Celsius, FTX, Voyager, Luna, and we should also add the SEC up here too, is attacking us. So they're not really protecting us. It's unbelievable. But I did want to show you this. This is something that I think is important. This is a really interesting video that a lot of people don't understand about Bitcoin, and then I'll get to the finishing thoughts here in a second, but let me play this for you, and I hope it's loud enough. If it's not, just turn it up for a second while this is playing.
Into this portfolio construction, you can, because Bitcoin operates in 4-year periods of time with the halving event, okay, I believe that if somebody's buying Bitcoin and holding it for 4 years plus, it's an investment. I think anything...
By the way, this isn't sped up. This is just how fast this guy talks. And shout out to Digital Asset News. He played this in a video too, which I think is pretty interesting.
Under 4 years gets more speculative, especially if you start going under a year. So let's just say you take any 4-year holding period over the last, since Bitcoin had a price, and you compare that to the S&P 500, but you do it by adjusting your sizing like they preach in business school, right? So listen to these two different portfolios. Portfolio 1 is a 2% allocation to Bitcoin, 98% cash. And you compare it to 100% allocation, the second portfolio would be 100% allocation to the S&P 500. Your performance is better with the 2% Bitcoin allocation. You can pick the 4-year period of time. It doesn't matter if you pick a top and you go back 4 years, or you pick a bottom and you go back 4 years, or somewhere in between. You can pick any 4-year period you want in Bitcoin's history, okay, and compare that to a 4-year period in the S&P 500. The performance is going to be higher, around 50 to 80% annualized compound annual growth rate with a 2%, okay? And your volatility is only 1.4% annualized. Okay, it's similar to the S&P 500. You're about a 50% annualized performance with the S&P, 100% in the S&P 500. But your annual volatility is 20%, which is 14 times higher than a 2% allocation in Bitcoin. I think this is so important for portfolio construction going into 2024.
Keep in mind, the SEC will most likely approve an ETF soon. And these are the numbers that are life-changing to people. These are the numbers that change how you think about Bitcoin. Think about that. 2% Bitcoin and 98% cash beat the S&P 500. That is unbelievable. Of course, if you had 10% or 20% or 80%, 100%, you would have done much better. But still, just with 2% Bitcoin, you could be 98% cash. You're worth, let's say you're worth $1 million. right? You could have 20,000 in Bitcoin, $980,000 in cash, and you would outperform the S&P 500 with less volatility, 14 times less volatility. We've seen a lot of financial advisors talk about Bitcoin, or different entities talk about the performance of Bitcoin. We've seen studies done by BlackRock showing that really, if you want a perfect portfolio allocation for Bitcoin, you should actually leverage. I know that sounds crazy. And if you've seen the videos where I talked about that, sorry, I have to repeat it again, because that's absolutely nuts. They are saying if you want the best mathematical performance, you should actually go borrow money to buy Bitcoin, because it does so well year after year, historically. Even a low-risk portfolio, they still said should be mostly Bitcoin. So the fact is, we're going to see more and more clips like this. We're going to see financial advisors post this and push this. Keep in mind, though, this is long-term. This is what happens long-term. Short-term, anything can happen, as we found out today. I will say there are a couple interesting things that just came out. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin's going to be the only thing that's approved by the SEC twice. So, yeah, true. Bitcoin Magazine states, if the SEC can't even protect their own X account, how are they supposed to protect investors? Agreed, right? Putting password as the password or whatever. Bitcoin Archive says to Elon Musk, "Hi, Elon Musk, can you confirm that the SEC account was hacked, as they are claiming? They told you transparency with the market was vital and took you to court. Surely it applies to them too." I would not be surprised for Elon to jump in there. I mean, that is his MO, is to get at the SEC, and now he's in a power position. This is going to be fun to watch. I would not be surprised if there's some SEC exposed. Now, I will say, they don't say that they were hacked. They say that they were compromised. Their account was compromised. Compromised, well, let's look up the definition. I think we all know what compromised means, but, I think it is important to look at the exact definition. Something was made vulnerable as to attack or misuse by unauthorized access, revelation, or exposure. So I guess that's not actually true, right? It was not unauthorized, most likely. If it was an intern or something, or if someone misposted, that's not unauthorized. That's just a mistake. I guess just a mistake, it seems like at this point. But I would not be surprised if Elon Musk wrote back about this, gave some indication as to what actually happened. Maybe he's doing that right now. I appreciate you guys watching. I know this has been a crazy time. Again, if you want to trade any of this, there's a link to Margex underneath the video. I know volatile times, maybe you just want to go low leverage or something, or maybe you don't want to leverage at all. I totally get it. I'm going to be here day after day to make videos. If you want to get those videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this whole saga underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next